Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's webinar. We're going to get started today around 2:03 Eastern Time. While we're waiting, we want to know a little bit more about you. Will you put your name, the city you're calling in from, and how long you've been our customer in the attendee chat window? Like I said, we're going to start around 2:03 Eastern Time. That's going to give everyone some time to get logged on, and settled in. Hello and welcome to everyone that's joining right now. We're going to start around 2:03 Eastern Time. We're going to give everyone a chance to get logged on and settled in. Until then, we want to know a little bit more about you. Can you put your name, the city you're calling from, and how long you've been a customer in the attendee chat window? Hi, Samantha. Hi, Chloe. Thank you guys for joining today. We're going to start in a couple minutes, right at about 2:03. We're going to give everyone a chance to get logged in and settle down a little bit. Until then, we want to know a little bit more about you. We put your name, the city you're calling from, and how long you've been a customer in the attendee chat window. There we go. Outstanding. Hello, Michelle. How are you? And hello, Oscar. Thank you for joining. We're going to get started in 2 minutes. In the meantime, if you haven't done so already, put your name, how long you've been a customer, and what cities you're calling from in the attendee chat window. Hello, Todd. Hello, Michelle, welcome. And Sam, yes, you're right. You've been using it longer. All right, it looks like we have quite a few people joining right now. Hello, Kent. All right, I tell you what, let's go ahead and get started. Before we get started, just a few housekeeping items. One, all audience members are going to be muted on this call. If you have questions for today's panelists, please use the attendee chat window. If you have questions specific to your account, please use the question and answer window. Mia or a member of my team will follow up with you directly. We're going to have time at the end of the webinar to answer all the questions that you submit in the attendee chat. So with that, let's get started. I want to say, first of all, welcome to each of you and thank you for attending our webinar today. I know we've all got busy schedules and we appreciate you joining today. Today's webinar is Tailored Automation Strategies for Smart Operations and Smart Communities. We have a great discussion planned today. During the presentation, we'll have 3 poll questions for your feedback. And joining me today, I have a tremendous supporting cast assisting me today. My name is Todd Winchester. I'm the Director of Sales for Smart Operations Solutions, formerly known as SitePlan here at SmartRent. And on the phone with me, I have Alex. And Alex,
Hi,
go ahead, Alex.
Go ahead. I'm the Senior Director of Product Management for Smart Operations Solutions. So those are the products we formerly referred to as SitePlan.
Awesome. And Scott, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Scott Floyd. I'm a National Service Manager with CAPREIT, and I also do all of our service solution training for the entire company.
Yeah. Thank you, Alex and Scott. We may also have Savas joining us, and if he joins, then we'll introduce him as well. So with that, let's go ahead and get started. We'll go into the next slide. Yeah. So for today's conversation, it's basically centered around creating and implementing strategies that help customers with automation. We're going to take a look at how smart operations and smart communities can help improve your productivity and efficiency. Scott's going to share with us how CAPREIT created and implemented strategies to automate their processes and the benefits they've achieved by doing so. Alex and I are going to discuss how SmartRent solutions can help you do the same. Finally, we're going to close out by covering some of the positive results we've achieved with automation and how we can help you and your teams. Alex, why don't you start us off with a quick introduction to how automation fits into multifamily operations?
Absolutely. Thanks, Todd. Automation plays a crucial role in enhancing multifamily operations because you're leveraging various tools to streamline your processes, improve your productivity, and your efficiency. So first off, automation tools like task management platforms and smart home technologies are going to streamline administrative tasks, from leasing to maintenance requests, freeing up staff time to focus on more strategic initiatives. These tools not only reduce manual work, but they also minimize errors and increase operational efficiency. Second, automation mitigates the impact of staff turnover. I know that's been a huge impact on our industry over the past several years. But by automating routine tasks, the dependency on individual staff members is reduced, and it ensures continuity in operations even when you have personnel changes. Additionally, automation will allow for easier onboarding of new staff members as processes are standardized and well documented. Finally, automation is going to enhance the resident experience. From online lease applications and automated rent payments and maintenance requests, residents benefit from streamlined processes that provide convenience and efficiency. Moreover, automated communication tools such as email or text notifications for package deliveries or community events can contribute to a more seamless and engaging resident experience. So in summary, automation in multifamily operations not only optimizes your internal processes, but also improves your staff productivity, mitigates the impact of turnover, and enhances the overall resident experience.
Great. Thank you, Alex. That's awesome information. Scott, how have you found your automation strategies to be valuable in your role at CAPREIT?
Well, my role that I'm in presently as National Service Manager, I oversee 16 properties in 10 states. Being able to do that remotely in that many states would frankly be impossible without the automation, without the organizational views that we have, and being able to go and look into every property and see with detail what's going on, where they're maybe struggling or where they're succeeding, how long it's taking to get work orders done. allows me to really do what I do from afar. And then, like I said, in the training aspect of my job, I work with everybody in the entire company. So being able to go in and I tailor these trainings that I do with them directly so I can go over their specific issues, their specific problems or areas they need to improve on. By having that, that whole organizational view, I'm able to go in and I can see that. The other thing that, really, really is helpful for me is, in SitePlan, the infinite filters that are on it, and task lists and pulling information out and being able to drill down really specifically on, one work order, one type of work order, what have you. So having the automation, having everybody using the same thing and having all the tools and, the answer automation tied into it, everything tied in really makes me able to do what I do every day.
That's awesome. Scott, I really appreciate your insights and feedback. It's been great working with you for the past 3 years as I've watched you implement some of these strategies using the Smart Operations software. It's time for our first poll question. I'm going to give you a few moments to respond, and then we're going to review the results right after. Artificial intelligence, or AI, is a very hot, trending topic in multifamily and other industries. Many people hold different opinions on AI. Before we dive more into automation, we want to get a sense of your sentiment concerning AI. How comfortable are you with the idea of incorporating AI into your workplace tools? Very comfortable, somewhat comfortable, neutral, somewhat uncomfortable, or very uncomfortable? I'll give you a few moments to answer those. We're about halfway there with attendees responding. Give everyone a couple more minutes. See, Gilbert and Robin have joined us. Hello. All right, great. So we have a good range of answers here from somewhat comfortable. That's good. That's actually in line with many of the conversations I've had with my customers. It's going to be great to see the effects of AI on the industry moving forward. I've seen multiple applications across many job functions in multifamily, so this is going to be a great topic to keep up on. Next, I want to hear from our experts again. I'm going to ask Scott about how they created and implemented strategies, automation strategies at CAPREIT. Scott, can you cover how you utilize specific tools and find them value, find value in those tools?
Well, I think or at least myself, I'm constantly learning and constantly figuring out new tools that exist in SitePlan or exist different places that maybe you didn't even realize. I mean, one of the things I've been using a lot lately is I now figured out that I have everybody that works for my company's phone number, which is kind of a cool side effect of it. But, some of the other things we're doing, we're doing a build to rent property now that it has smart home technologies, which actually the property is not going to have any staff once we're completed with building it. So we're taking all of this to the next level. I've actually personally been on call for that property for 3 months. So the answer automation and the escalation list and everything allows us to do that and will allow this property to then be managed remotely where there won't be any staff whatsoever. So, I mean, we're really embracing it and trying to kind of think outside of the box and how can we use these tools to automate stuff and maybe do something a little bit different.
Scott, that brings up a good point. I forgot to tell everyone on the call today, you deployed answer automation and work automation and single sign-on across your portfolio, and you've recently implemented smart home technology at your build-to-rent in Baldwin Chase. Scott's probably one of the first customers that's implemented with self-guided tours through the answering service, prospects can actually schedule tours or request tours through the answer automation. And their residents of these communities can use the resident app that they use to unlock their doors and control their thermostats to enter work orders that get sent to your teams. So thank you for bringing that up, Scott. That's great feedback.
Yeah, and that...
Go ahead.
No, and what I was saying, one of the great things about all of it is it's all real time. There's no lag, there's no delay, there's no going from this system to that system. I mean, having it all integrated together, I mean, you're real time. You're getting to that task, to that what have you, I mean, instantly.
That's great feedback. Thank you so much for that, Scott. All right, let's go ahead and jump into our next poll question. Oh, Scott, I think that was your that was your slide. I didn't want to steal your thunder on that, but some of the information that you shared with us is that you save your team members save 10 to 15 minutes on every work order by using the work automation product. So going into our second poll question, when we think about automating processes, another term that comes to mind is centralization. And we want to know, has your organization implemented or are they planning to implement a centralization strategy? For example, do you have centralized or podded maintenance or leasing teams? Yes in some areas. We're in the process of doing so, or no, not yet. Go ahead and take a few moments and let's answer those questions. Got about 6, 7, there we go. We're getting some more responses. All right. Yes, and that's resounding feedback. Many of our customers have implemented centralization. Centralization's had many drivers over the past couple of years, like labor shortages, cost savings. But what we've noticed is centralization has driven our customers to implement automation strategies that are going to help them be more productive. So centralization is another thing that we're really working on when we're talking about future product releases and things like that. So up to this point, we've discussed automation and how it pertains to multifamily. We've heard how CAPREIT has implemented some of their automation strategies and the tools they use. Next, we want to share some of the information and the tools that are available to you, things that can help you automate your processes. Alex, can you help me and review some of the features that are available today for our customers?
Yes, this is one of my favorite things to talk about. So to talk about some things that are already available, just in the past several months, we've released our walk and talk feature, which many of your organizations may now have access to. It's an AI-powered voice assistant, and we feel that it really revolutionizes task creation out in the field. It has both English and Spanish language capabilities, and it is going to understand spoken problem descriptions, eliminating up to 70% of the taps that are typically required for task creation. This tool ensures quick and efficient task management, empowering users to focus more on the task at hand and less on the administrative process. And it really works as easy as talking into your device and saying, there is a water leak in unit 104, and from there, the mobile app will be able to identify the category, subcategory, and place where that leak is and fill in all of the information. Our templates and boards are someplace that we've spent a lot of time in the past few years. And with our integrations with property management software platforms, they streamline the make-ready process. We can integrate and pull in resident move-in and move-out data. We will automatically create work orders and projects, saving valuable time and ensuring a smooth transition for your new residents. Our boards feature actually turns the task list into an electronic make-ready board, providing real-time project status updates and enhancing collaboration among team members. One of my favorite things over the years, I remember speaking to a VP of property maintenance who said anytime he showed up at one of his sites and they were using a whiteboard, he would walk over and erase it with his hand and ask them to say what was on there. How are you going to explain that to a property manager or someone in the leasing office? The board's product really gives you that visibility across the site, across your entire organization of where you are on the make ready schedule, and no one bumping into it or running their hand across it is going to delete your data. Assets, another near and dear to my heart feature. We do have asset management within our work management platform, and it will automatically link your assets to tasks, creating a comprehensive activity history for each asset. This is going to enable your users on site to make better decisions on whether to fix something or whether to replace it. We have workflows within assets that facilitate the replacement of those assets, ensuring you have accurate asset management across your site. Tomorrow, we're actually also releasing an enhancement to assets that's going to remind users to update assets when necessary, further streamlining that process and preventing inventory discrepancies. And answer automation is one of our most critical tools in ensuring a prompt response to urgent tasks. Our answering service includes escalation rules that notify designated users by phone when an urgent task arises. You set the rules for escalation, and answer automation follows that chain until someone accepts the task, ensuring that urgent matters are addressed promptly and efficiently. On our future roadmap, I don't want to give away too much, but in the coming months, our product focus remains on advancing automation within multifamily operations. One of our key initiatives is the development of a rules engine. That's going to enable if this, then that conditions to automatically generate work based on specific criteria. This is a feature I've wanted to bring to task management for a number of years. And it's finally going to allow us to close the loop on tasks by creating follow-up work. For example, when a task is closed with a specific rating, like repair or replace. Throughout the year, we'll also introduce various triggers to further streamline your team's experience, reducing that need for manual intervention. Additionally, we're continuing to invest in AI solutions. So I was really excited to see those poll results that you guys are very comfortable with that. We're going to build on the functionality that we introduced in Walk and Talk. Our goal is to expand AI capabilities and make user interaction even more intuitive. Users will be able to perform actions and navigate the UI more easily by simply describing what they want to do in plain text. This advancement is going to significantly reduce the training needed for users to get started with our work management platform and more effectively mitigate the impact of staff turnover and ensuring smoother operations for your teams.
Thank you, Alex.
Absolutely. And I think we've got another poll here.
We do have another poll. I just wanted to say thank you again, Alex, because we really appreciate the work you and your teams have done to improve the smart operations solution. If anyone on this call wants additional information about these solutions, feel free to reach out to me in the question and answer window. It's time for our final poll question. We understand training is a key component of operations given high levels of site team turnover. We want to know, how does your organization currently handle training? Do you use a learning management system? Do you have live hands-on training sessions? Do you have recorded training sessions? Do you use supplier-provided trainings or some combination of the above? Let's go ahead and take a few moments and answer those questions. Have a few more answers being submitted. training is such a huge aspect of implementing any new technology. I feel like one of our strengths is working with you to ensure that um, you have the technology and the tools needed to help train your teams when you're implementing new technology. And it's good to see people are using multiple methods of training their staff. Over 90%. Wow, that's great. That's great feedback. Thank you all. All right. So as we wrap up our sessions, I'd like to take a few minutes and ask our experts again for some of their key takeaways and benefits they've experienced by implementing some of these strategies. Scott, can you describe any additional benefits or maybe some surprising benefits you found by implementing these strategies?
Well, I think, giving these things to maintenance people, and, some guys, it actually becomes like a game to them. Where they try and see who can get the most work orders done or how fast they can get them done, which helps me out tremendously because then them and the property become more productive. But for the most part, everybody's really adapted to it. Talking on the training thing you mentioned, one kind of thing I've found with training, and especially with maintenance guys, is, you get a ton of maintenance guys on a call and nobody wants to say anything. So kind of how we've geared ours is smaller groups. So the guys are more open and more willing to talk and stuff like that. But, as far as, and we kind of glazed over that slide before, like I was saying, the 10 to 15 minutes, all this automation, and I've done some research on this. Basically what I found is, doing this and removing the paperwork order. I mean, when I started doing this, I had paperwork orders and a beeper when I was on call. We've come a long way from there. But, not having to go to the office to get the keys when you go to the full SmartRent or smart home products, or, even saving the paperwork order and all that, saving the office staff, getting that emergency call right away. I've found that by implementing all this, each technician is saving 10 to 15 minutes per work order per day. So at the end of the day, that may equal out to an hour or two of savings that they can be moving on to something else. At the end of the week, the end of the month, it becomes even bigger. And the end result is you have a better maintained asset and you have way happier residents who are more than likely going to stay for longer.
That's awesome. That's great feedback.
Yeah. To make a note too about what Scott said, I think, and from my team, one of the things that we're looking at is how do all of these products as a platform make your processes smoother? So if you're using work management, that's a great way to manage your tasks and streamline your maintenance. When you start combining in things like access control and smart locks and smart thermostats, things like that, there's so many more efficiencies that you get, that all of these products work so well together. One of them on its own, fantastic, but all of them working together really gives you that full control and capability to streamline things.
Yeah, awesome.
Well,
thank you both for the feedback. Scott?
I was just going to mention, I mean, the other benefit that we're finding in the smart home technology stuff is we're actually finding problems before they happen. And as a maintenance person, I mean, that's about as good as you can get when you're going and telling somebody, hey, this leak sensor went off, or hey, I noticed that you have high humidity in here through the thermostat or whatever. So we're actually using this and we're finding the problem before the resident even reports it.
I remember almost 10 years ago learning about leak sensors and thinking, wow, wouldn't it be cool if your water heater could tell you it had a problem before it actually caused a ton of damage in a unit? And we are living in that future now, which is really cool.
Great. Awesome. That's a great wrap up there, guys. Let's answer a couple of questions that we've received. How do we measure the effectiveness of automation tools in terms of time saving, cost reduction, and overall operational improvements?
Well, I know Scott had the note about 10 to 15 minutes of savings, of time savings on tasks. And within work management, we do have reporting, we do have our advanced task list that allows you to see how much time is spent on tasks. So we actually do have the ability to pull reporting and generate reporting to show that actual real time savings, absolutely able to be measured.
Great. Hey,
Yeah, and you can also do that organizationally, like I do a lot, or you can go property by property. The organizational view, like I said, in my role of what I do is really huge for me. Because that doesn't exist really anywhere else, and I use it daily.
That's awesome. Hey, Scott, I've got a question for you because I know that you that you work with your KPIs with some of the tools that you're using. But can you talk about what strategies can be implemented to encourage adoption and utilization of the tools among your multifamily teams?
Well, we use this to tell who is using it, not using it. I mean, we have KPIs for emergencies, we have KPIs for standard work orders, and for turn times. So we use that to gauge and figure out what's going on with the property. Now, I like to say that I need this to be the most accurate view of what's happening on your property. Maybe you have a staffing challenge. Maybe you have, every water heater just turned 20 years old on the same day. But by drilling into that, being able to see those trends and everything, I mean, it's actually how I start my day every day. But drilling in and seeing those trends, you can kind of forecast things coming up and provide the best resident experience and make sure your teams aren't getting burnt out and, things are getting taken care of. So it's a good benchmark to know where you stand.
Awesome. Thank you. Scott, as we look to implement mobile maintenance solutions, right? Site team members can be kind of technology adverse. How do you address internally some of the concerns that you may have around security concerns when you're implementing an automation solution like this?
Well, through our single sign-on and everything, I mean, like somebody can't just pick up my phone and log into it and, get everybody's information. Having it in one place. And then there's also the reverse side of that information. I mean, used to be you get an emergency call, you had to call the resident back from your phone. So, with SitePlan, it comes up and shows up as the office phone number. So, there's security kind of both ways. Like I said, with the single sign-on from us, that's kind of how we're dealing with that. But then, like I said, the other side of that, I mean, I've probably got 30 or 40 residents' phone numbers saved in my phone, so I don't answer them.
You have some serial residents that call.
Well, people are going to go through the easiest route. So once they get your cell phone number, it's like, oh, I can call them directly. I don't have to call the office.
Right. Scott, thank you for reviewing that. I've got another question, a follow-up question for you. What is your mobile maintenance policy at CAPREIT? Do you have company provided equipment, personal equipment, or do you have a hybrid approach?
There are a couple of locations where we do have a quote unquote on-call phone. Not the best scenario, but for the most part, what we do with, I would say 99% of our people is we give them a $25 a month cell phone allowance. So, don't know how much everybody's provider costs them, but we give them all $25 once a month to bring their device and use their device with us.
Awesome. Thank you. Do we have any other additional questions that we haven't covered yet?
I see one, and I think we may have answered this a little bit, but as far as implementing strategies to encourage adoption, it's funny being in this business for several years. We have a lot of people who are not necessarily tech savvy, but they want to learn and they can see the benefit of this making their job easier. So I find, like where Scott said that he was doing small group trainings and hands-on trainings, that makes such an impact, and listening to your team members and spending the time with them, that once you get them going, they really do enjoy running on their own.
Yeah, and some guys, you got to kind of spoon feed them. I mean, you can take a guy. I have one in Orange, New Jersey. Didn't even have a cell phone when we took the property over, and he'd been there for 20 something years. And I've had to spoon feed him a little bit of information at a time. Now he thinks it's the greatest thing in the world, and he's, it's revolutionized his world. But it took us a while to get there, and like I said, had to spend more time with him. But now he's got it. He's great. I mean, he can show other people how to do it now.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I don't see any other questions. Does anyone in the audience have any additional questions they want to put in the chat or the QA window? If not, I'll give everyone a couple minutes to put any additional questions, but I do want to say thank you to Scott and Alex for your feedback and your insights and our candid discussion today. Scott, I've enjoyed working with you and listening to you share this information about how you've implemented these strategies. I know it's really made a big difference at CAPREIT. I've been at your conference 3 years in a row, and I've spoken to many of your site teams directly. If anyone in the audience is interested in learning more about how to automate their processes with smart operation solutions, schedule time through me. We're going to send a link in the wrap-up email to my calendar, so feel free to schedule time with me. Even if you want to learn some of the future roadmap items, we're starting to do some QBRs with our customers to kind of let them know what's coming down the pike. You're also going to receive all of this information and a link to this replay in email this afternoon. If we're not connected in LinkedIn already, I invite each of you to connect with me on LinkedIn. I'm going to be sharing a lot of information through LinkedIn about future webinars and other smart operations releases. We've been really busy since the acquisition by SmartRent. We've released a lot of great features. I keep Alex really, really busy. She's actually my boss. She checks me on making sure that I'm telling people the right thing that we can or can't do. But she's been great to work with. And like I said, we have some more information coming down about other feature enhancements coming with the smart community integration specifically. I can't wait to meet with each of you and share more information. Did we get one more question?
Yeah, we got a question about assets, and I can answer that. So when you're using our assets platform and you have assets added into work management, they will automatically attach to those tasks. But you do have to be using the assets platform and have those assets loaded. That can be a big task if you think about maybe 5 to 7 assets in every unit, and on average 250 units per site. That's a lot to get them all in. But I have my eye on some new tools for maybe next year that are going to help make that process a lot easier. So definitely keep an eye out for more news on assets. There's a lot of things that I'm talking to with my team on how to even expand that even more.
Samantha, that's a great question. And if you want to schedule some time with me, we can kind of go through that with one of our next cadence calls. Do we have any other questions? If not, we can go ahead and conclude today's webinar. Again, thank you to Scott and Alex for their time today. And thank you for everyone that's attending the call. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to join us, and I look forward to sharing additional information with you soon. Have a great day.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks.
Thank you.